Members, I want to issue each and every one of you a challenge today. And that's to go out on the ground in your districts and knock on the door of someone who isn't voting and ask them why. It's not lost on me that almost every single person in this chamber doesn't have a real November. Most of you do not have your election outcomes in question in the November election. Your contest is in the primary. What that means is that your election is generally decided by the people who already are voting from year to year, and it's your task to persuade them to vote for you. A general election is a different beast. They are often largely decided not just by persuasion of the people who already vote, but also by voter turnout, who comes to the ballot. Because of my experience that, again, only a handful of us share on this floor, I have some subject matter expertise on why people don't vote. And so often the answer is because it's hard, or they don't know how, or they don't understand the process or the options that are available to them. I keep thinking of one moment in the debate last night where Representative Neave had offered up an amendment to make curbside voting more accessible. And in the conversation around that amendment, Representative Murr stated it had been around since the 1980s, and everybody knew that option existed. Y'all, I knocked on doors on Election Day 2020 and told 5 or 6 elderly Hispanic residents of my district who were terrified to walk into the polling place about that option. And they had no idea it existed. So that's the challenge I have for y'all. Don't stay in your silo only talking to the people who have been coming out to vote year after year. Talk to the people who aren't voting and ask them why. Ask what barriers they are facing. Because what I saw in the debate last night are members that are aware of those barriers and have talked to their constituents who have faced them. And I saw members who have never had those conversations. And I guarantee you, those people exist in your district. They exist in every single one of our districts. I'll give another example. In 2018, I talked to a woman over 65, permanently disabled, and had no idea she could vote by mail in Texas. We assume that is baseline information. It is not. So we have an obligation to make sure the ballot box is accessible to every single Texan. And I want y'all to talk to your constituents who are struggling so that you have a better understanding of what this means for the people you represent. Today is Lyndon Baines Johnson's birthday, something that is particularly important to my district since he grew up on the west end of my district and was schooled in the other in San Marcos. Today, one of the greatest Texans, one of 3 Texans to ascend to the office of the presidency, he would be disappointed in us. This bill, the door is only open to this bill because the United States Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act, one of his major accomplishments in 2013. Legislation that was renewed in a bipartisan fashion in 2006. Some of the same U.S. congressional members who voted to renew the Voting Rights Act are refusing to help reinstate its full strength now. And I am sad at the level of partisanship we are seeing around the right to vote. I don't want to ascribe motivations. So once again, I will ask you, please go talk to the people in your district who don't vote. Ask them why. Ask them what barriers they are facing, And then I believe you will see that myself and my other Democratic colleagues who have been talking about how this impacts our constituents have been completely earnest this entire time. I urge you to vote against this bill.